$50,000 isn't magical, it's mechanical, and it's the most dangerous income level most people will ever hit. Not because it's too little, because it's just enough to stop building. My name is Zach, and I've spent years figuring out why earning more doesn't automatically make you wealthier. If you've ever gotten a raise and felt less free, not more, subscribe, because that feeling has a name. And today, we're going to dissect it. Why MIT literally built a calculator to measure survival costs across America. And guess where it lands? Right around $50,000 in most mid-cost US cities. Meaning the moment you cross that line, you're no longer optimizing for survival. You're optimizing for stability. And those are not the same game. At $35,000, you were scrappy. At $50,000, you became respectable. And here's the thing, nobody says out loud, respectable people don't take risks. Risk threatens respectability. So you don't just spend differently, you negotiate differently, you respond to your boss differently, you sit on career decisions longer than you should. You become someone who protects comfort instead of building margin. That's the identity shift. Not the apartment, not the car, the identity. The first time you clear $50,000, something subtle happens. You don't just upgrade your apartment, you upgrade your standards. And standards, they're expensive. Not once, every month, forever. Some $50,000 doesn't trap everyone. It traps ambitious people. People who worked hard to get there. People who feel like they finally earned the right to exhale. And that exhale, that moment of arrival, it's exactly when the trap closes. Because the ambitious ones upgrade fastest. They feel they deserve it most. And deserve is expensive. Most people spend their raise before they even feel it. They upgrade their lease, their payments, their lifestyle tier. Here's what that same money could do instead. Invested consistently over 15 years, quietly becomes 6 figures. Miss it at 25, and you'll need roughly twice the money at 40 to get the same result. It's not motivational math, it's sequence risk. Compounding isn't just about how much you invest, it's about when. And that first crossing of $50,000, that first moment of real surplus, it's the highest leverage financial moment most people will ever have. Not because the money is large, because the time horizon still is. Miss that window chasing respectability, and future raises go to catching up, not building. Wrong sequence at the wrong moment. That's the decade delay. I'm not just theorizing. When my income jumped from $38,000 to $52,000, I thought I was leveling up. I didn't realize I was locking in. I upgraded apartments. $400 more a month. It felt like a reward, but $400 a month, invested at 7% over 15 years? That single decision carries roughly $121,000 in opportunity cost. I didn't lose it all at once. I lost it across 180 quiet monthly decisions I stopped thinking about after month 2. That's how the trap works. Not a dramatic mistake, a recurring one you forget you made. Here's what makes the wealth gap widen invisibly. Your income might grow 5% a year. Assets, index funds, real estate, ownership, historically compound roughly 10% annually over long periods. Every year you don't own assets, you fall further behind someone you've never met. Not because they outworked you, because they understood sequence. They didn't stop building when they felt safe. Both feel like they're progressing. Only one is building something that works without them. Here's what's really happening underneath all of it. Behavioral economists call it risk compression. At $35,000, low baseline, high upside. You swing, you hustle. At $50,000, baseline rises, risk appetite quietly compresses. You think conservatively, negotiate less aggressively, protect what you have instead of building what you want. Risk compression explains why middle-income earners feel stuck despite earning more. Income grows, wealth velocity slows, and no raise fixes that, because the problem isn't the number, it's what the number does to your thinking. 2 months of runway doesn't just mean fragile, it means your boss has more control over your decisions than you do. Every negotiation, every boundary, every opportunity that requires you to walk away from safety first. 12 months, that's leverage, power most people spend entire careers trying to manufacture through promotions when it was always available through margin. Financial runway equals liquid savings divided by monthly required expenses. $12,000 saved divided by $3,000 monthly equals 4 months. That number tells you more than your salary ever will. 3 rules, not suggestions. Rules. Rule 1. Your raise isn't yours. 75% already belongs to future you. Cap fixed costs at 25% of net increase. Yes, that sounds aggressive. Good. Rule 2. Before lifestyle adjusts, automate the investment. Same week. Index fund, Roth IRA, high yield savings. Habits follow structure, not intentions. Rule 3. Track financial runway quarterly. Shrinks after raise? You expanded wrong. Holds or grows. You're building power, not pressure. You didn't get trapped because you made $50,000. You got trapped because you made $50,000 and adjusted your identity upward at exactly the same speed. New income, new standards, new fixed costs. Same margin, different treadmill. And if you're at $48,000 right now, about to cross that line, this is your inflection point. Not next year, not after the next raise. Now, because the most expensive thing you'll ever buy, the feeling that you've already made it. Subscribe, and let's make sure your next raise builds margin, not just a better looking trap.